to Green Eyed Starlet. If you are new here, hello and welcome. My name is Brandy and I'm working to live a life worth living through art, movement, and exploration. Thank you guys so incredibly much for clicking on today's video. I'm so excited that you are here. Today we are going to be talking about manifestation, and more specifically because I feel like I could make like 18, 19, 20 videos on the concept of manifestation and all its little tiny factors. We're going to be talking about a few ways that I am trying to relearn so that I'm not getting in the way of my own manifestation. If that sounds like something you'd be interested in watching, then please give this video a big thumbs up because it helps out the channel a ton, and keep watching. So before we get into the meat of this video, I do have to give a few shout outs because they're necessary and needed. The first one is to Maren. I am so sorry if I'm not saying your name correctly. I am awful at reading names, but her TikTok is right here and I'll leave it linked down below, and she actually made a TikTok that was kind of the catalyst of me wanting to make this video. The other two shout outs that I have to give are to Ben, my boyfriend, and one of my best friends, Nicole, because I simultaneously texted both of them pretty much the exact same thing about my, not struggle because we'll get into it, but I'm gonna say struggle for this right now because it's the best way to explain it, but my struggle with coming up with what I wanted to film a video about today, and they both simultaneously kind of responded to my text message about what it was, being like, that's your video idea right there, talk about manifestation and like how you're having trouble with certain parts of it because that's relatable and what you're going through right now. And I'm like, you guys are right, you're totally right. So thank you to all three of those individuals. You are the reason this video is being made, so thank you. Now that we've rightfully given love to the people that deserve some love here, let's get into the meat and bones of this video. I don't know why I say the meat of a lot of videos, as I am a vegan. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to think of another word to say for it. But let's get into the main topic of today's video, manifestation. So what is manifestation? In my personal opinion, manifestation at its like core or at its cellular level is about creation. It's about bringing into reality that which is in your mind. Yeah, that's not like the best definition, I know, but like that's what I kind of see it as. And truly, I think that manifestation a lot of the times is drawn to law of attraction, and I think that they do share a lot of same wavelengths, and there is a lot of one in the other and the other in one, but I think that would be a separate video where we could talk about the difference between law of attraction and manifestation. The first time I ever actually really even heard of law of attraction or manifestation was from my mom, and I don't honestly know how old I was when she watched this, but she was into The Secret. She watched that movie documentary, The Secret. I've never actually watched it from start to finish, which I probably should, but I know that she also either bought the book or had a different book, which I think I now own, which is a book about like gratitude and bringing more abundance into your life. But when my mom was into it, I used to give her the hardest time about manifestation and The Secret and all of that. Like, me and my brother used to rag on my mom, and I feel so awful about that because now, you know, 10 to 15 years later, here I am manifesting into my life, and you know, my mom is completely the one to thank for that. So mom, if you're watching this, thank you. I think the biggest thing that I've kind of discovered through watching videos and reading books about manifestation and law of attraction, I feel like law of attraction is more geared towards bringing into existence what you want, where manifestation is more bringing into existence more of who and what you are at your core. Manifestation is more deep rooted into like who you are as a human and what you want, whereas I feel like law of attraction can be used for things that maybe haven't thought out completely. And if I'm wrong here, please call me out. I'm willing to learn, okay? I'm willing to learn. So me personally, I have always run a little bit on that tiptoe line of remembering that it is important to speak good, kindness, abundance words into the earth and into the world, and you know, not try to speak negative things, especially about myself. But right now with the state of the world and my empathness on full 100% blast, and just the fact that, you know, we're in retrograde season and there's been eclipses, this, that, and the other, like the whole world is shifting, and if you can't feel that, you need to wake up. But with all the major shifts in the world, I've kind of been feeling myself on a lower end of the spectrum than I normally am, and with that I have been speaking super negatively about myself and my current situations, and it's kind of weird because I am aware of that and I'm mindful of that, so like I will have a dip, say a bunch of negative things, and then be like, no, don't say those negative things. And then I'll come back up, and then I'm like, which I'm not trying to give into any toxic positivity. I am trying to work through these emotions that I'm feeling, which is a big, important part to get through, to be able to manifest things that you want rather than things that you don't want. But I have seriously been catching myself falling into a more negative, dark place, and I really don't like that. Especially when on a personal level, I have a countless list of things to be grateful for, and that is not like a humble brag in any way or just a straight out brag. It's just one of those things where you notice like, okay, I have a chunk of things to be grateful for. Why am I so down on myself right now? With lockdown and quarantine, I'm not able to do about 95% of the work that I would normally be doing. So anytime that I do get a job, anytime that I am able to make some money, I try to explain how incredibly grateful to the universe that I am getting this opportunity, that I've been given this chance, that I've been given this money, because it really does mean a lot to me. And I want to draw in more of that kind of energy, more of that kind of abundant energy. And then I saw Marine's TikTok where she talks about 3 things that she never says because they get in the way of her manifestation. And it kind of took me out of it. And I was like, whoa, that's a lot of work for me. And it was like, it kind of felt like, oh, I just want to scroll past this and I don't even want to like acknowledge its existence, because it was a lot of things that I was doing on a daily basis for the last like 2-3 weeks, and things that I know are going to be so hardwired into my brain that it's going to be difficult to unlearn these things. 2 of which are things that I've said in this video already, or almost said in this video multiple times, and then had to stop myself and be like, oh, don't say that. The first being that whenever you say something that you want in the world, anything that you're trying to set an intention for, or like explain your goal or your dream, following it up by something like, haha, like, I don't know if that makes sense. I say that all the time in my videos, especially when I'm getting more into what people might classify as the woo-hoo-y kind of stuff. And I know that about myself. I know that I am scared to be judged for my opinions and my beliefs. And so every now and then I'm like, oh, I hope that made sense, or like, I don't know if that makes sense. I say that all the time. And like in her TikTok, she goes on and says like, okay, but like if you're saying this after setting your intention or your goal or your dreams, and you're saying that out to the universe, and you're like, JK, I mean, like, maybe if that makes sense, I guess. It's like you are completely devaluing what you want in this world. You're completely devaluing your intentions and your dreams, because you're like, I want this, I guess. And that's just one way that you're stepping in front of your manifestation and saying, halt, you shall not pass. No, own that. Seriously, own what you want. Own that intention. Own that dream. Own that goal. Because it's yours. You deserve it. If you want it, you deserve it. It should be yours. And that's just something that I need to work on personally in myself. Like 100%. The second thing she goes over in the TikTok is something that I actually personally think I am on a more good side of than the other 2 things. And that is also along the lines of the scarcity mindset, being like, I can't afford that, or I can never do that. Now, it is okay to not want to do something, or to not want to buy something, or to know in this current moment that it is not something that resonates with what you currently have, I guess, like that. But it is so important to not say, oh, I'm too broke for that, or I can't afford that, or I could never do that, whether or not it's something you want to do or not. Don't let your words limit what you can do. Does that make sense? Ah, I did it right there! I did it right there! Ah! Don't let your words limit what you can do. It makes sense. See, it's like rehab for your brain and your mind. You literally have to monitor yourself at all times. I actually have a really good friend who is working on this specific thing in her life right now, where it's like, even if you do want something really bad, even if you are working towards something, but you just don't feel like right now is a good enough time to buy that thing, that whatever it may be, instead of saying, oh, I'm too broke for that, or I can't afford that, say, I'm spending my money on other things right now. That implies that you have money and will bring more money into your life, and does not negate the fact that you may buy that thing later on in life, or that you may be able to afford that thing later on in life. So I think that is a really great way to reformat what we're saying to ourselves, what we're saying to our friends and family when things pop up. I know a lot back in like college, a lot of the times if friends were like, hey, you want to go out for drinks tonight, or tomorrow or whenever, I'd be like, oh, I'd really love to, but I really can't afford that right now. Like I got no money. And I feel like a lot of that mindset carried with me for many, many months. And it wasn't until I was like very much grateful for each and every paycheck that I was getting and each and every job that I was getting that I was like, thank you so much. And then like, I feel like more kept coming. I feel like this is something that I want to like throw into this conversation, even though it's a little bit of a hard conversation to have for sure, because manifestation is more of a reflection of who we are as an individual. I think that it is very easy to make an argument that manifestation kind of explains why like the richer stay rich and the poorer stay poor in that mindset. And while I definitely think that there are like some, you know, systematic and like cultural and political things that keep the richer rich and the poorer poor, I think when you're in that like middle class area, a lot of the times when we are focused more on a scarcity mindset, it can make us feel like we're not grateful for the money that we have. We're always looking for more money. And I think in like a consumer driven world, obviously everybody just wants to make more money so that they can work less. But then when they have enough money to work less, they continue to work because they feel like, oh, well, it's just not enough. That's kind of where there's a disconnect in the manifestation area. Because I'm not a millionaire by any means. And could I use more money? Sure. Could I afford to lose some money? Sure. But I feel like it's really important to be grateful for the amount of money that I currently have, or whatever I currently have, you know, whether it be the house that you're currently living in, or, you know, the car you're currently driving, or the people around you, or the job that you currently have. Any little thing that you are grateful for, I feel like boosts your vibrational energy and allows you to be accepting of higher frequencies of things. I almost said, does that make sense? And I'm not gonna say it, but I'm not gonna say it. The third thing that Maren talks about in her TikTok, and this one is so hard for me. Wow, I didn't even realize I was going in that direction when I said it. But she said that she tries to refrain from saying that I'm struggling with or I'm having a hard time with something, because that implies that you're facing a challenge and you're facing like some pushback and some difficulty. And that's actually what made me make this video today, because I sent a text message to my boyfriend and my best friend, and I was like, hey, I could use your help coming up with a video. But basically what I said is, I said, I'm trying to stop saying that I'm struggling with stuff or having a hard time, because I think that it just reinforces the difficulty, but I am engaging with what I should film for a video today. And my best friend at first was like, what does that even mean? And I'm like, I worded that very confusingly. And then my boyfriend was just like, make a video about this and manifesting. And I'm like, fair. But basically, like in Maren's TikTok, she's like, I try to refrain from saying I'm struggling with or I'm having a hard time with or stuff like that, because it just reinforces the idea of the difficulty that you're facing, and you want to try to remove as many limitations and barriers and obstacles that you can out of your way, even if it's just a mental obstacle in place. So instead, in her video, I think she suggests saying things like, I'm engaging with something, or and she uses, I think, the word lovingly in it, which is a very big important thing, because lovingly engaging with something is so much more compassionate to yourself and compassionate to the situation than, oh, I'm struggling with. And I think she comes up with a few more other ways to phrase things, which I need to look up, because like obviously I'm engaging with it, obviously I'm engaging with this issue. I don't know. But yeah, obviously I'm working through this. Can I say that? Can I say I'm working through something? Because at the end of the day, I truly do think that manifestation is a huge role in making your dreams come true. I mean, every single year, if you've been on my channel for a while, you know that I make a goals canvas each year. This year, Ben and I actually made a goals canvas together, and I think that it's really important because it is something that's right there in front of me about the things that I want to manifest into my life. And if we want to talk more about manifestation as a whole, please let me know. Leave a comment down below and we can talk more about manifestation for sure. But it's really important to sit back and not only observe your mental thoughts and the words that you're just allowing to come out into the universe, but sit back and reframe those. Be like, that is something that is not drawing more abundance into my life. That is not drawing the things that I want into my life. That is actually, you know, putting a roadblock in its way. or even not maybe a roadblock, but even just like a tiny little, you know, hazard. And if we can remove as many, especially mental, we can see our manifestations soar higher than they've ever soared before. So I think it's really important to note that no matter how long you've been manifesting, even if you've been manifesting for 10, 12, 15, 20 years, it is really easy to fall into a few negative habits. And I say this in every single one of my yoga classes, like at the end of our practice, but it is so important to observe your thoughts, to learn from them and grow with them, allowing yourself to cultivate a mindset of positivity available to you at any and all times. Does that mean that you will constantly think positive for the rest of your life? You'll never have a negative thought again? No, but it means that we need to create a relationship with our mind and with our thoughts to be like, hey, we can have negative thoughts. They're going to be a thing that come in. But when they come in, we're going to observe them, we're going to learn from them, and we're going to grow with them and try to change that negative thought, whatever it may be, and try to turn it into a more neutral thought, and then if we can, into a more positive thought. But we've got to work through that process, and I think that process could be a video in its own. But yeah, so those are 3 verbal cues and mental roadblocks that I am trying to work on and trying to engage with lovingly so that I can create a more healthy mindset, not only for my own mental health, but also so that I'm not standing in the way of my own manifestations. I don't want to work against myself, obviously, especially if it's working towards things that I want. I would love to hear from you guys though. Do you feel like you stand in your own way when it comes to manifestation? Do you believe in manifestation? Do you want to talk more about manifestation on this channel? Let me know in the comment box down below. I hope you enjoyed today's video. If you did, please give it a big thumbs up and hit that subscribe button if you're not already. We are so close to 1,000 subscribers and it's blowing my mind, but I am so incredibly grateful and I'm manifesting us to get to 1,000. I need a lot more watch time to regain my partnership, so that's the next journey, but the fact that we are so close to 1,000, like, I just can't thank you guys enough. I am so extremely grateful for every single each one of you that has ever clicked that button. Like, you have no fathomable understanding of how much I love you guys and appreciate you guys, so thank you. I love you guys so incredibly much. I hope you have a great day, a great week, and I will see you when I see you. Bye!